Wrestling is heating up for the summer because we got banger after banger after banger this year. We just had an unreal weekend. We had Saturday night's main event where they had good wrestling matches for once. We decided, hey, wrestling's coming first on a show. That match, the main event was pretty solid. I think the Street Profits versus the Vision was a pretty solid match, I think.
Yeah.
Penta versus All Ego Ethan Page was probably one of the best matches. It was the best match of the night for sure. And then the next night we had AEW Double or Nothing, which was just banger after banger after banger after banger.
Yeah.
If there's one company that knows how to put on pay-per-views, it's AEW.
I agree because they know like what their audience wants, right? Yeah. It's perfect. Sure, I thought the Stadium Series match went on a little bit too long, but I think other than that, it was perfect. It was just like, I think they might just have one problem of like how long they go for the pay-per-views. Yeah. Because I saw a lot of people complaining like, oh, it ended at like 1 a.m.
It should be earlier starts.
Yes.
That's the best way. Because I don't care about taking away the matches. No. I think everybody gets to compete on these shows. They all get paid. It's good for the wrestlers. It's usually good for the fans. I think you start off a little earlier. Maybe instead of 5 o'clock, you start at 4, maybe 3 o'clock. I wouldn't be mad at all. Yeah. For an earlier start, especially on Sundays. Most people at work the next day. A lot of people on the East Coast, they got to go sleep at like 12 o'clock or like 1 o'clock at that point. Yeah. And that's not ideal for anybody. So I think earlier starts for AEW is a one fix I would probably make. Just like when we went to Dynasty here in Van. I thought the pay-per-view was amazing. It just went on too long, and at the end of the show, you're kind of just like, okay, here we go. Thank God the main events have been high quality too. Yeah, because it keeps your energy high, and you're loving the show still. I think the Stadium Series, the biggest issue was that the stadium. I think it was the commission didn't let them go into the fans or the audience and didn't allow for any blood to touch the audience members. That's the reason why they weren't allowed to fight in the audience. So I think this match was still a banger, though. I think
it was a good match. It was a good fun match. Maybe just cut down like 5 minutes in it.
Yeah, did I call it the Stadium Series? It's called something else. Stadium. Something. You tell me in the comment section below. But I still think it was a good show all around. I think from start to finish. I love John Moxley's character right now.
I do too.
I feel like his character just testing other people and testing his opponents when they're challenging for the title. Kyle O'Reilly is kind of looking at him like, yo, put some respect on my name, that type of match against him. So I think there's a lot of good, solid characters all around. And they had all their big guns on the show too. So thumbs up for me.
I think, what I like about John Moxley's character is he's got a group. Yeah, but he doesn't let them interfere. It's just him one-on-one. Yeah, and I like that because like it just shows him like, oh, he's like, I can take anybody anytime. Like when we went to the pay-per-view, he took on Will Ospreay one-on-one, almost broke his neck again.
Exactly. I think it's his character work is just great right now too because I think he's just testing everybody's toughness. That's kind of what he's going for, and I love it so much. Probably one of my favorite characters on AEW so far. They also announced that we have so many other events going on this summer for AEW and WWE. Next weekend, WWE has two solid events. I mean, Clash in Paris, that card's stacked. 5 matches.
In Italy.
Clash in Italy. I keep calling it Clash in Paris. Clash in Paris just sounds better.
It does.
Italy just doesn't work properly for some reason. But I think Clash in Italy has a solid card. They have the big AAA Mask vs. Mask match, which is probably the best thing going on in the WWE right now.
Yes.
I think Ludwig Kaiser, the El Grande Americano. Yeah. The actual El Grande Americano. He's gotten all this stuff going on with his girlfriend, fiance. I don't know what the relationship is, but they're clearly using it. It's clearly killing it, and the fans love him so much over there.
I feel like that's probably the best build in WWE in a long time. For sure. Like story-wise, they built it properly. Shout out to The Undertaker. He might take Triple H's job at this point.
Undertaker, and he also has a partner in crime over there in AAA. So I know Undertaker gets a lot of credit, but I know he has somebody else working with him. His right-hand man.
Mysterio.
I do think that they're cooking with that storyline for sure, though. Because I like it when they show up on WWE. Nobody really likes the El Grande Americano. They always cheer for the original. Yeah. Where most people, I think, are actually cheering for the El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
For the real
facts,
one.
The real one, the OG.
Yeah, but I think AEW. So one thing I thought about this weekend after Double or Nothing is that when AEW does well, the stakes are higher now. WWE has to be better. That's always been a fact. MGF said something like, "We're back where we were in 2019, where AEW is making another push to be the top dog, and that puts pressure on the WWE." Now, WWE has a big summer ahead of them, right? They got so many pay-per-views coming up. So does AEW. So this whole summer is turning out to be such a big summer for wrestling that everybody's going to be at the top of their game. I don't care who you are. WWE's got to figure out SmackDown. It's been trash for so long. Raw has been pretty solid, I think. Especially yesterday's Raw, all those matches. More wrestling matches. More fresh ideas. How about that? Triple H has no fresh ideas.
He's like on a repeat mode, Yeah,
like, open challenge after open challenge after open challenge.
We don't need an open challenge. All right, it was fun when Sami Zayn did it for a little bit. It was fun when Melo did it. It was fun when
Dragunov did it.
Dragunov did it. But you don't have to beat a dead horse to get to your point, like, oh, we're a wrestling show.
When they stopped it with Trick Williams, it made sense, right? Because the idea was it wasn't getting old, but they stopped it before it got old, and then they just gave Tiffany Stratton for 1 week. Hopefully, that was the end of it. It doesn't happen anymore, and we just get to a new story from now on. Because the Open Challenge, it has to be special. It has to be for somebody. It has to be used for one title only. It can't be used for multiple titles. Can't be having the Oba Femi Challenge and then pass on to Tiffany Stratton and then pass on to somebody else. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense.
Like, we gotta build some storylines for these titles. Like, instead of just doing Open Challenge every week, that's just like weak writing.
Yeah, it is.
It just feels like it's like they don't have any, like you said, any fresh ideas, and they're just relying on their big guns to get them through it. They're relying on Roman Reigns to do the Bloodline thing again.
Yeah.
They're relying on Cody Rhodes to maybe cook with Gunther.
Yeah.
And they're just relying on the big guns to like get them through like they always do.
The only thing going that's fresh is Danhausen somehow.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that in another video. But Danhausen's probably the best thing going for the WWE right now in terms of fresh ideas, something fun, something that we haven't seen in a minute. And, kind of keeps it a little, like, relaxed, laid back in a way. Which is, he's carrying SmackDown.
He is carrying SmackDown.
And that's crazy to me to think about.
They need to bring Punk into SmackDown, I think. That's the only way they're going to save it now.
Yeah, for sure. They need to switch up some rosters. Or
yeah.
The Open Challenge, right, like you said, there's no storylines coming from it. When John Cena had the Open Challenge, there was a good storyline that came out of it. Kevin Owens storyline where they went back and forth and they were actually challenging each other. Not for the title at the one point. It became just a straight one-on-one match. Kevin Owens was the NXT champ. John Cena was US champ. Kevin Owens beat John Cena. Like, that was a great way of using the Open Challenge to set something else up, which is what I think Brock Lesnar, Oba Femi's Open Challenge kind of did that with Brock Lesnar, where Brock Lesnar kind of attacked him before the Open Challenge even got started. And now it starts a rematch at Clash of Paris in Italy, where I think you got to get this right too. I don't know. I think Oba Femi has to be the one to win. I don't know how you move forward. This is like another crucial point for WWE to get it right.
Even the Open Challenge with the U.S. title in like late 2025, it was there, and they would push other storylines with it. Yeah. And now it just feels like, oh, it worked. Let's just keep doing it.
It's just lazy writing.
Yeah, it's just lazy writing.
Once again, AEW got what we got Forbidden Door in June. We got Night of Champion in June. We got Redemption the weekend before SummerSlam. We have All In at the end of August, and then we have Money in the Bank in September. So banger after banger after banger. One thing about AEW though is if they heat up, this is a big part of the summer for them to heat up because they're catching up to WWE. Their biggest pay-per-view at the end of the summer, right? And then so is Money in the Bank. Like, that's gonna be the weekend after. SummerSlam's gonna be like a month before that. All In is such a perfect time because it could give them a good chance to get a step ahead of WWE. Not even a step ahead, sorry, because WWE is already it's up here. It's always going to be the top. But I think all AEW can slowly catch up with the summer they have. All these pay-per-views they set up are crucial for them. Like, they've just had 2 solid shows in a row. They keep doing that. If they keep the momentum going on throughout the summer, I think they could easily pull ahead. Like, they could be hotter than WWE for like a minute.
100%. Easily.
You might not be bigger than WWE worldwide, globally, but you could be harder than WWE for a little bit. And I think AEW is getting to that point right now.
I would argue out of all the champions, MJF is probably the best champion doing work. He's like out here promoting. He's fun to watch. He's doing some outrageous stuff, and I like that. Yeah. Like compared to Roman and Cody, they kind of seem like cookie cutter, like a little bit to compare to him, right? Yeah. And I think they have the advantage in that. Plus, they got a stacked talent pool. Mm-hmm. I feel like a little bit more stacked than WWE. Wrestling wise,
100%,
and it just feels like they could go anywhere and any place, and they'll always do well.
If you watch AEW, you also start to understand their characters a lot better. Where WWE, they're kind of basic characters, and if you watch a show, you kind of understand it, right? If you just watch a pay-per-view, you can understand what the person's deal is. But when you watch AEW over and over again, you start to understand who they are and what they're about, and it makes more sense. You kind of want to tune in more often now. Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like after watching the last few months now again.
Like John Moxley's character, we learned what it is just watching. We watched 2 pay-per-views, and now we kind of understand what he is because it's more depth than, oh, I'm the tribal chief.
Acknowledge me. My cousin's got to acknowledge me.
I finished the story. Now I'm just gonna keep going. Like, it's more than that. One thing I like that the WWE is doing is Money in the Bank after SummerSlam. Yeah. Because you know why? Because they always use it before SummerSlam, and then or they use it at SummerSlam, and then for the rest of the year they got nothing.
I like what it does perfectly here, because King of the Ring is going to be before SummerSlam this year. I'm pretty sure Night of Champions are going to have King of the Ring finals then, and that sets up the number one contenders for SummerSlam. Where Money in the Bank, it kind of sets up the number one contender for either Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. It keeps the challenger around instead of it just being this boring 4-month stretch of just wrestling, waiting for the Rumble to start and all that stuff happening.
I think like they misused the Money in the Bank a lot of times because I feel like it should be your exit strategy if you got no plans. Like how perfect would it have been if like it worked out well if it worked out well with Seth Rollins, but then he got injured.
Yeah.
But like think about Drew McIntyre when he just cashed it in right away that night.
Yeah.
That was a waste of a Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it was.
They didn't even need a feud. The CM Punk didn't need more fire on the fuel against Drew McIntyre. They already had it.
Yeah. Money in the Bank. The one thing about Money in the Bank is moving it after SummerSlam allows them to stay hot for the fall. Because a good summer turns into a good fall. A good fall turns into a good
Road to WrestleMania.
Road to WrestleMania, pretty much. Because there's no other season other than WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
Road to WrestleMania in January to April. I think that's why Money in the Bank being at the end of the year is better than being in the middle of the summer. It kind of gets lost in the sauce. And Triple H kind of doesn't know what to do with it. I also think making the Money in the Bank hold on to the briefcase the whole year is probably the best decision they can make.
It is. Because it keeps fans anticipating like when's it going to happen. Because when you pull the trigger quickly, it's weak. And plus,
Always
like
weak.
how fun would it have been if like during that whole match last year, a Survivor Series that turned out to be a dud, a War Games match, someone had the Money in the Bank and had the balls to cash it in, right? Like
remember Tiffany Stratton had the Money in the Bank. She probably had the longest run with the Money in the Bank. She was kind of teasing it during Survivor Series in 2024 that she's going to cash in.
Yeah,
and she kept doing that, and it led to like a fun moment at the beginning of January where cashing it in so early, it doesn't really leave that moment of anticipation for you anymore. It doesn't leave it in for WrestleMania. It doesn't leave it in for any other big pay-per-view. It kind of, you just got to waste the moment. And Triple H has kind of done that a lot recently over the last few years.
I agree.
Well, that is for this video. Let us know what you think about all of our WWE talks. What do you think about AEW so far this year and where we're headed for the rest of summer in the comment section below. Like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.